All right, what's going on, everybody? So I want to give you guys this encouraging word this morning. I am out of town and I am with some extended family and some friends and visiting a church, a church that I've had previous history with. And it was interesting because we were going up to this entrance to try to get into the building, right? And so this was the entrance we were trying to get into, but the door was locked, right? And we went up to that entrance, we saw that it was locked, and then we went up to a second entrance. And so some of us are very familiar with this building, and basically we were trying to go to this next entrance, which was, over here, and they were both locked, right? And so we know that the front entrance was on the other side of the building, or there's two entrances on either side, and we had to walk around, right? But we wanted to get into this church, to get into the service, and to be able to enter. And the second time that we came up to this door, somebody came up and was able to unlock it. So they just, kind of scanned in, and we were able to get in. And we're not really residents or attendees of this church, but we're here, right? And so a lot of us right now, what we end up doing is we go up to a door that God has for us. And because the chasm and because the wall, because that door is so heavy, so big, it's closed off, that it's hard for us to get through to the other side. And for us, we wanted to get into this church, we wanted to get to the other side, and we knew we were gonna get there, but because the first door was closed, because the second door was closed, and ultimately at the right time, the person came and opened the door, or we could have just walked all the way around the building to get to the other side. The problem we have in society and with many Christians is that we look at a door like this, we look at a building like this, and we know we got to get inside it. We know we got to be where God has placed us and put us. But because this door, because this hindrance, this roadblock, this chasm is so great in our own eyes that we end up stopping ourselves short. We end up quitting along the way. We end up looking at it and saying, oh, that's too scary, that's too big, it's too dangerous, it's a sign, that we shouldn't be going through. But like Paul, right? If you look at Paul and his ministry, what he did was he was given a lot of advice. A lot of people are saying, hey, you're going to get arrested again. You're going to go through, some torture. They're going to stone you. They're going to do all these different things. If you end up preaching again, if you end up going back to the synagogue, if you end up going back to those people, you're going to be flogged, and you're not going to have the right outcome that you would want, right? And what Paul did was that he ignored all that. He knew where his end goal was. He knew that he had to get past this chasm, this difficulty, and to him, it wasn't a big roadblock. It wasn't a big deal for him. He had the courage, he had the boldness, he had the perseverance, the character to push through that door, through to the other side, because he knew where God had placed him and where he needed to go. And because for us in life, we look at a door like this, we look at the locks that are on this building, and we think, oh, that's too much for me. I can't handle it. A lot of us, if we were given that advice, hey, you're going to get arrested, you're going to get flogged, you're going to have this risk of your life being tortured and all these different things, it's not going to look good for you. We would stop ourselves short. We would look at this door and we would turn right around back to our car and we would go home, right? But God, what he wants for us as Christians in our callings, in where he has placed us, where he sees us going, is that he wants us to get through that door. He wants us to break down that door of discouragement, of difficulty, of self-pity, of financial burdens or whatever it is, and he wants us to get through to the other side. And if it means that we got to go through one door, and if it's locked, we try to go to a second door, and then if that's locked, we go around the building. We go all the way around the building to get to the open door so that we can get through it. The problem we have in society is that we stop ourselves short. Some of us, we look at a building like this and we say, you know what, I don't even want to go in the building. Some of us, we go to the first door and we say, nope, that door is locked, so that's a sign, I'm going to go home. Some of us, we look at that door and because of our own fear, our own anxiety, our own self-pity, whatever it is, whatever the mental hurdle we have, the fear that exists before us, we end up not walking through it. Even if the door was wide open, even if the door was unlocked for us, we stop ourselves short. But because it's a mental, because it's a psychological, because it's a behavioral issue for many of us. We end up quitting and stopping ourselves short. But God, what He wants for all of us in our individual walks and in our individual callings, in our ministries, in our opportunities, is He wants us to go through that door, and so that we can get to the other side and we can have the blessings, we can have the ministry, the evangelism, the souls being saved, the discipleship, people growing to be more Christ-like, whatever that moment or the opportunity is. He wants us to get to that other side. And so I want to encourage some of you guys today, as much as you think that first door was closed off for you, as much as you think that second door wasn't meant for you and you're taking that as a sign, Paul, when he saw his ministry, he didn't take that as a sign. He looked at that and he said, you know what? I understand that there might be a risk for me. I understand that there might be a second prison sentence. I could be stoned, I could be killed, but I have courage, I have faith, and I have the Lord protecting over me above all things. So that's what I want to encourage some of you guys with, because when you look through to the other side, there's going to be a lot of good things. There's a lot of opportunity, a lot of blessings, a lot of different moments for you and God to share. And so only you know that, between you and in your relationship with the Lord. But as a word of encouragement, guys, I want to give you guys this. Love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.